Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Hey folks, we got a new sponsor. It's called Buckwild Coffee. What's so special about Buckwild Coffee? Well, a gazillion people go to Starbucks every day and drink coffee. Well, why shouldn't Buckwild Coffee offer you light, medium, or dark roast with free shipping? All you have to do is go to whitetailrendezvous.com, go to shop, and order your coffee, and I'll ship it out for free. Hey, thanks so much for visiting Buckwild Coffee. The best brew in the West, the best brew around the campfire, the best brew in the hunting shack, the best brew anywhere. Buckwild Coffee. Get yours today. Welcome to a special episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're going to head down to Newbern, Alabama, and I'm going to connect with Christopher Joe. Now, Christopher works for the Department of Agriculture, but he's also ingrained in the soil, in the culture, in the woods of Newbern, Alabama, at Joe's Black Angus farm, who is sponsoring this special episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's wonderful time. It's late, but the brain is still going and still ready to make it happen.
Well, and we got together through Instagram, and what we wanted to do here tonight in the next 20, 30 minutes is let you hear Christopher's dream, his goal for the farm. And it isn't just, raising cattle and what they do on that. They've done that very well for a long time. But he's got a goal and dream that he wants to share with everybody about what he'd like to see happen on the farm, because life is different for a lot of people, and they're going to offer the farm as an opportunity to, as we were just talking, to maybe for the first time in your life, walk into the woods at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and hear the woods come alive, or even better yet, stay in the woods till it gets dark. I mean, real dark, and hear the woods come alive again. And so with that, the mic's yours, my friend.
Well, just want to start by saying it's always a pleasure to speak from area of doing it. A lot of people, they discuss things, and it's kind of, I read this in the book, and I heard somebody say this, but hunting has been a passion of mine. Grew up doing it. I started early in life, I guess 11 or 12. Dad took me squirrel hunting, and all of this was done on our own family farm. I'm third generation Black Angus farmer from Newbern, Alabama. So in the South, mostly the areas that we have, a lot of people do catfish farming, cattle, and, just some row crop farming goes on further South Alabama and some other places. But we got into hunting early, and I developed that outdoors passion, I guess, from my dad. Growing up on the farm, you got up early Saturdays. Even if you come home from school, if the hay needed to be hauled out the field, I guess you had to get your homework quick, and then we went down to the farm. We live in Greensboro, Alabama. Born in Greensboro, Alabama. The farm was about 10 minutes from our house. So we weren't raised on the farm. It's where my dad grew up. It was his family land. And we pretty much go down there, have cattle, and that's who's sponsoring my appearance tonight is the Joe's Black Angus farm of Newbern, Alabama. I'll put that contact information up later on while we, discuss some other things. But I started the idea of wanting to do something different with our farm once my father retired. He's a agribusiness teacher of 34 years. And when he retired, he said, well, I'm going to go down to the farm and I'm going to expand the farm, and I will grow the farm to where he wants it to be. It's a passion of his to raise cows, to work the land, to work the soil. And we officially started our nonprofit organization called the Hale County, which is the county that our farm is in, Minority and Disadvantaged Farmers Educational Foundation. I know it's a mouthful, but that name pretty much tells what we're trying to, who we're trying to take agriculture to. There's a lot of disadvantaged farmers or farmers that may not necessarily have the means to go out there and purchase that top quality bull. They might not be able to purchase the equipment. How can we use the knowledge that we have and the property that we have to show somebody else? So that's where my father came in to, well, let's make it a demonstration site. We already do things. We do our own hay. We do our own veterinary things, tag cows, give cow shots, herd them. We do everything ourselves. So if somebody is new to farming, they may have questions. So that's where mentorship comes from. You can mentor people about farming. Well, I have 10 acres. I may want 2 or 3 cows. What's my best way, or how do I make money in this? Funny thing is, I had that conversation today with a landowner from California, a young lady, not young, but probably in her late 30s. And she pretty much called me saying, hey, I have some property my grandparents gave me, and I want to do something with it. I have 24 acres of Bahia and Bermuda grass. There's some cows out there, but I want to expand and make money. How do I make money? So those are the things that I think where our nonprofit comes in to play, is that we can show these things. We're working with the Tuskegee University. It's a historical university, land grant university here in Alabama. Alabama A&M Extension Service, and a host of other organizations to put together events to show or let other farmers come in, bring in experts, do field trials, do field days to where you can show a person, hey, this is how you take a soil test. A lot of people don't know how to take soil tests. And when white-tailed deer hunting, food plot management, all those things can be tied together, because the same soil improvement that you're trying to make for cattle, you can do the same thing with deer. Deer not going to eat crappy grass. That's just how it is. So soil tests will give you those amendments that you may need to add to the soil. I started with my YouTube channel. I guess I posted my first video back in, I think, January the 9th of this year. But the idea of the channel came out in November. So what I wanted to do was just show people through video of me doing these things, me riding around the farm, me riding around checking game cameras, showing people what's on the game camera. How do you turn it on? Where do you point it? How do you pick a location? Then planting food plots. I have a couple of videos up now of our last year's food plot planning from start to finish, to me hunting in it, to me harvesting one close by. So these are the things that I think we can, as outdoor enthusiasts, it's like we have our community that we are in, but outside people may not get a good look into it. I mean, because even on TV, the outdoor channel, that's not a regular channel that most folks can get. So how do they find out about us? How do they find about taking care of the land or taking care of the soil? Growing food. I mean, that's a lot of what we do, grow food for animals. People wouldn't know that. They just think, oh, man, they go out there and shoot deer, or they shoot the deer and they don't even do anything with the deer. But, hey, that's a food processing plant not too far from our place. I mean, we hunt deer and done that ourselves. So you can give back to the community in that kind of way. Even if you don't eat the animals, you just like, well, I just want to hunt. I like to hunt. You can donate that meat. You can donate all kinds of things to the community. So there's needs that I see that I'm trying to meet with the YouTube channel that I have. So I'm out promoting wildlife. I'm out promoting conservation practices that will in turn help people to make something of their property. The average age of a farmer is getting up there. So if we don't replenish or show people that there's a different aspect to farming besides, oh, well, I'm just got to wake up to crack a day. I'm barely going to rake and scrape by. I might make a living and I might not. And you have to show people that there's other ways. There's smarter ways to farm. There's equipment out now to where you don't have to use that busted up piece of equipment that great grandpappy had or grandpappy had. That's every time you make a half circle, you're getting back off to go fix something. And that's the same with planting food plots. good equipment, the know-how, safety as well is very important. We don't want people getting injured hunting. I did a couple of safety videos of getting up in the deer stand and getting down out of the deer stand. Where do you put your gun? How do you hold your gun? Just things like that. We think it's pretty easy because we're hunters, but we're trying to show people a safer way that yes, we have guns, but if you handle the gun appropriately, you'll alleviate a lot of the issues that could come about it. So I have a trusty stand that I use most of the time for my phone, and I set it up and I record, and I set it down and did that safety talk, basically just showing how you hold your gun. Always keep it unloaded. Don't put one in the chamber and trying to cross a fence or climb up something. Because if the gun falls down, hey, people say, "Oh, gun don't go off if you drop it." I don't think I want to take that kind of chance. So I use my YouTube channel as a recruitment tool, as a way to educate, as a way to just show a different side of the outdoors that a lot of people don't get a chance to see. A lot of my followers, they tune in or they'll message me and say, "Hey, when you going back home to hunt?" Or the last thing you did was pretty cool, but I like how you did this. Or why did you put the tag in the cow's ear like that? And it's just a whole host of things that I think as outdoor people we can start to trump it out a lot more and make people aware of the things that's available to them. And making our farm a demonstration site, an educational site, open to the public, and just doing agritourism is a way to get people in those surrounding areas a lot more familiar with what we enjoy as hunters. And I'm thinking, what other ways I can reach people. So speaking with you tonight, that's a new way that I can reach out, because I haven't, that area or the people that you know are different from the people I know. So if I can reach some of your people and they can see, hey, they're doing this down here in Alabama. They're selling Black Angus cattle. They're doing it this way. It's successful. How are they doing it? Well, I want to just go down there and see what they do. That's more than up our alley. Matter of fact, my dad doesn't mind. Anybody wants to come, watch the cows, feed the cows. He's more than happy to show that. And even during hunting season, we have plenty of deer stands. We have more deer stands, and then we have hunters. We have a small hunting club, so it's like 3 of us. And the way I manage it, have about 8 food plots spread out across 200 acres, and just had some of our best hunts the past couple of years. The rut's been kind of off a little bit because weather. I don't know how many of y'all out there know about Alabama weather, but very unpredictable, and it throws off the animals some. Rut kind of goes different places throughout the month. So November, this past time, I didn't see anything at all in November. I didn't kill anything till January. So it really it's trying to a hunter, but it lets you try different things in the woods that you hadn't tried before. I stay online a lot. I like listening to other hunters or what they like to do. Well, I tried this trick. This trick worked. I like to get in this area, or I like to come back a little bit from a food plot, or I don't even hunt the food plot. And those are things that I've tried over the years that made me a little more successful. And then I added my own thing to it based off of, where I hunt. I hunt on our property. I probably can hunt other places, but there's just something about me hunting on the land that I've worked in, the land that I grew up on, and seeing these deer that I have on camera, and then knowing that they'll be here 2 or 3 years down the line. I killed one buck that I had on camera, I guess a year and a half ago, and finally got him. So it's the passion of it is what makes me continue to do it. And then looking into the agritourism, looking into how do you make your land area to where you can start going into different avenues. Yes, you got Black Angus cows, but you also have nature. Well, nature preserves, nature organizations, nature societies, bird watching societies, all these different things you can pull together from getting out there. Me talking to you tonight, I may grab a hold of somebody else that's interested in it. So the recruitment side of hunting, I think, is where we we need to get a little more down to earth on, because you sometimes just picking up a magazine, you think that, well, my little 5 acres not any good, or my 10 acres not any good. If I don't have this and this and that, I won't be able to be a successful hunter, or I might as well give up on turning my little grandfather's land or the land that my parents left me to make something out of it. When technically you can do something, you can manage what you have if have the know-how to do it or know where to go. So I think that's what I'll do a lot with our farm. Post these videos, show them how to make this food plot that snakes along a creek. How do I make a trail? I have an old bulldozer my grandfather had. I can crank it up, but there's trees everywhere. How do I go about making the food plot? How do I cut trails to it to where I can hunt from different winds? So hunting makes you a meteorologist. I know most hunting seasons, I go and pull weather from the Weather Underground or some other weather sites and look at, okay, this week ago, or it's been like this, the weather's been 70, 70, 70s. But next week, it's going to go from 70 down to 50. Well, I might need to be out on that 50 day. And those simple things like that, well, a person, well, I've been hunting in 70 degrees and I ain't seeing nothing, and get disgruntled, or they get, not disgruntled, but they get, it puts a bad taste in their mouth about hunting. Well, every time I go out, I don't see it. But I'd rather just stop while I'm ahead. I don't even want to hunt anymore. But if you can show a person that all you had to do is wait on those cold days, don't go to that same stand every day. It might be a day where you say, the wind's kicking a little high. It's kind of blowing into the wooded area where I think they probably bed at. Maybe the day not a good day. And just simple tips and tricks like that, I think will help a lot of people out with deer hunting. And I think that's what I learned talking to other hunters and looking at different websites and channels that have that kind of information and piecing it together and making it and applying it to my hunt. So when I get up, well, it's a rainy morning. Well, the temperature's going to drop come 2 o'clock. So I probably, instead of sitting up in that stand getting wet, I may just wait until 10 o'clock, go get in the stand. And then when the temperature drops about 1, then the deer start moving. Then there you're increasing your chances. So we don't have GPS tracker on the deer. So you got to kind of use some other factors that are known to you. The temperature, wind speed, pressure, all that is very important that I found out during deer hunting. Then using their nose against them is a great tool that I found that I use a lot more frequently than I used to years ago. Drag rag has helped me with my last 3 deer that I harvested. They all came and like I had them on a fishing hook, and they just came the area where I walked that trail. I walked along a creek because I knew the creek was a little too wide for them to cross. So I knew where they bed. I knew about roughly who was in that area. Game cameras, please invest in that. I mean, I don't know how high that is on your list, but you really can't put a good value on a deer camera because it's going to help you find where they are. If you have 5 cameras out and they show up most of the time on those 2, then instead of trying to be everywhere, focus on those 2. Give that some time. Hunt those areas where they show up the most at, and that will increase your chances. But I had a drag rag, dipped it in some of that old smelly stuff, and walked along the trail about 5 o'clock. I got about 3 o'clock in the evening. Evening hunts seem like they work better for us down here. The majority of the deer I killed mainly been in the evenings right at 5. I think the last 2 were 5 o'clock and then 5:20. And I think I killed maybe 1 or 2 early in the morning, but it's still kind of 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I don't know what it is about our deer. And that's another thing about Alabama. Everybody's area is different. You arrive by a deer processing plant, you'll see a herd of deer stacked up one day, and you like, heck, I didn't see anything in the woods. And it's just, it varies like that. But the drag rag has helped me out a lot more than in the past. I think was something that implementing that into my hunting regimen has helped me a lot. So I'm definitely into showing people the outdoors. There's some grants that I'm working with on some organizations related to health And when people think of health, they think of fitness center, or they think of, oh, well, I got to go eat this food that I'm not really keen on eating. And what we're doing with our nature trails is making that open as a walking trail, nature preserve, or what I say, just basically nature trails. 6 miles doesn't sound, to an average person, well, 6 miles, that's a lot, but we have it broken up into different sizes. So it's 6 miles total, but there's an area where I just might want to walk a little piece, and you can do that. So I think that's what makes our land a lot more open to different organizations, is that we're offering these kind of tools, health screenings. You can come. We have a house on site to where people can come, park, have facility there. Other health organizations can come do health screening. We think about hunters and we just think, oh, we'll just have gun, camo, bullets. That's all I need. But you don't think about your health. Walking. Are you in good shape to walk all those miles? Climbing. Well, if we having health screening day down at the farm, you say, well, let me go just get my pressure checked. And you have a person there that can check your pressure, tell you kind of, hey, you're at a risk. You may need to start doing this. So I think we can touch so many more people by making just simple things available to them. And like I said, deer hunting is one thing, but I think the overall health of people and the enjoyment will do something to a person when they think about it. So what else on your mind you want to ask me about? I can keep going.
Well, I know you can. I'm just, I'm sitting here listening, and your third generation on the farm, and it's just it's really neat for me to see a young man say, it's all here. I don't have to go to any place. It's all here right on the farm, and that speaks volume about your family. That speaks volume about your love for hunting. Deer drags do work. I've had them come right in a string, and you say, go away, go away. And they don't want to leave. They just keep hanging around, and I don't tell them to go away, folks. I just watch them. But when you think about that, and you think about, recruitment of hunters, let's spend the next 10 minutes talking about youth and recruiting of hunters, because there's some people in this country, no matter what you say, if they know you hunt, you're Darth Vader,
right?
And we're not going to change their mind. I wish we could, but that's not going to happen. But there's a huge middle ground of people that are clueless about hunting. They just never experienced it. They just don't know. They see it on TV, or they hear about it, or their neighbor might shoot a deer, and that's about the size of it. But in hunting, as you said, the farmers are aging. The age of farmers are aging, and I grew up in New England, and the farmers there were old when I was young, and it's still, it's a challenge. And we know the hunting community is aging. And,
right.
How do we bring kids? How do we bring new people in? How do we bring the people in the middle, the single moms, dads, and how do we bring them in and utilize what you have going on? Because that, when we first talked weeks ago, I said, man, and that's why I wanted to get a hold of Mr. Crawford over at University of Montevallo. Montevallo, and talk to him, because he's got that outdoorsman or outdoors program, and you think about that, and you think about all the things, and you mentioned grants, and listeners, think of your own farms, and take what Christopher's trying to do down there, and is doing it. He's not trying it; he's doing it. And reach out and get ways to get people engaged. And so for the last 10 minutes, I just took 2 minutes of the 10 minutes, so about 8 minutes before we get a wrap. But let's talk about recruitment.
The biggest thing to me in recruiting, and I just going off of my personal experience, getting that child or getting that kid to be comfortable with being outdoors is the biggest hurdle. I go into school systems. I teach water. It's a program called Water Festival, where you try to show some conservation or water conservation practices, and farm safety day, and classroom in the forest, and getting a kid that's never been outdoors, is the biggest thing to me, to where I think we can do a better job. Getting with the school systems, local school system, taking that third grade class, bringing them down to the farm, allowing them to see, hey, these are cows. Well, the hamburger that we eating at lunch came from these, or the hunters, or those things that we saw jumping over the road. You can plant stuff and you can watch them. You might not even want to shoot them, but you can enjoy wildlife. You can sit in a blind early in the morning and see different wildlife that react how they normally on their own. The recruitment, even the people in their 20s, college age kids, they leave. They don't see the value of land. Well, I don't know anybody with land, but you have a neighbor that's an elderly gentleman that you can shadow, that I'm pretty sure that if you say, hey, I want to help you on your farm, can I get 2 cows and put on there? And more than likely, those older guys, they're going to see that spark and they're going to say, well, I have the land. Yeah, I'll lease it to him for little to nothing. So you have 5 cows. I usually give this analogy. You don't have to have big numbers. You have 5 mama cows. All 5 of those mama cows have a calf. You sell those 5 calves at market for X amount of dollars, and you holding that real money in your hand, you can change a lot of minds that way. And I think deer hunting is the same exact way. I have this land that hasn't been anything done to it, but with a little care, little wildlife opening, a little bit of watching, and next thing you know, you got your first deer that you ever shot, and now you're bit by the bug. Now you're out here thinking of other ways how to improve the land. So that's where conservation comes into play. Well, how do I increase my soil organic layer? Well, I know some people at Extension, or I saw Chris on his YouTube channel talk about doing a soil test. What's a soil test? Well, let me go to so-and-so and ask. So recruiting is just about showing the person something that's in layman's terms. And I think we get a little too specific, thinking that everybody came into the game advanced. A lot of people just fresh. So I speak on my YouTube channel as if I'm talking to my nephew or nieces. It's very simple. Hey, we're going to walk this trail. Well, I'm walking through the woods. Well, don't walk through the tall bushes. Let's find us a little trail. Hey, this trail is made by something. What's that made by? Well, those are deer trails. Deer trail. Now you got them interested in, okay, what's a deer? Why do they walk through the woods like that? Why do they pick these areas? So you can recruit just basically going off a walk in the woods. And I think that's the biggest thing to me that I think most effective.
Whitetail Rendezvous is pleased to announce a partnership with GoHunt.com. Who's GoHunt.com? Well, if you're a DIY hunter, you need the information at GoHunt.com/insider. Why? Because it provides 4,200 profiles, every unit, every species, and every season. Furthermore, they give in-depth analysis, interactive maps, unit access, and seasonal trends. Draw odds are very important, and they give you the most accurate information in the business. All this is available when you go to GoHunt.com/insider. Make sure you use promo code WR when you join Insider. You'll get a $50 gift card for GoHunt.com Gear Shop. All in all, if you're hunting out west in 2018, GoHunt.com Insider is where you need to be to get all the research information. When you use promo code WR, Whitetail Rendezvous receives a small commission from GoHunt.com.
It's just trying to show them that at this point, you can find out about birds, you can find out about animals, everything. So you can make a career out of this if that's something you like to do. That's what I went into, agribusiness. So I use my book knowledge, but I also had some knowledge prior to that. So recruiting is all about just trying to make it easy enough to where the average person, average citizen will have a better understanding. They may not like guns, but they can appreciate the outdoors. And if you can show people that, yes, we hunt, but we do all these things leading up to the hunt. We go out, we make brush piles for rabbits. There's rabbits. We're creating all kinds of habitats. We're helping birds. We're helping everything. I mean, you can put a spin on it to where you might reach that person's a little bit better by saying, okay, I'm not going to bring in the gun and shooting, but I'm bringing in the whole nature, and you can walk through the woods. You have a camera, feel free to take photography and those kind of things. We can ride you around. Hey, we're going to stop at this area. It's real neat. There's an old abandoned house that's out here. Take time. My brother, second brother, he's a painter. So he goes out in the woods while I'm out doing deer stuff. He's out painting nature scenes, selling paintings. So he doesn't like to hunt, but he knows about the value of outdoors and how the nature looks and ways that you can show somebody else, because through his paintings, he's showing, well, this is nature. And to a person that's don't go outdoors like that, they're like, well, let's see. And then they can find local areas or local people that open their doors to them to take them on a tour, to take them on a nature walk. There's plenty state and federal lands that people can go on to make that. But if you just got a neighbor right down the street that's offering that, I think a lot of people will take that invitation. So I think that's where I preach the loudest is just showing people through my YouTube and through my social media pages that this can be done. You don't have to let the land just grow up into whatever. You can manage it. There's tools out there. I work with an agency that provides those financial assistance programs for land improvement. So I think you can look up any kind of USDA program related to wildlife habitat, and you'll find something that will help. So I think that's where I'll leave that.
Now, how do people get hold of it? We're at the end of the segment here. Now, specifically, tell us the YouTube channels and Instagram and Facebook and your email and all that.
All right. My start with Instagram. It's all lowercase, The Adventures of _Breeze, BREEZE. That's my main Instagram. My YouTube channel. You can look me up on there. It's called The Adventures of Breeze, or you just Google or search Cool Breeze, and you'll see me on there. And I think I posted the link to Mr. Bruce, so he'll have that link to both of my main social media channels. And I think those are the main ways you can get in touch with me. And
thank you for that.
And I also want to plug in the Joe's Black Angus farm.
Yes, sir.
We have a lot of cows and different kind of steers. We have one or two for, we beef cows. We got some ready for slaughter. We have some ready to sell if you're using on your property to increase your herd. So either way, you can call Dad and tell him what you want. And hey, you might make a trip down to Alabama to get them.
Okay. Again, how do they get a hold of Dad?
His number is 334-624-9084. 334-624-9084.
And your dad's first name is?
Cornelius. Cornelius. Cornelius
Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe.
Yeah.
And with that, folks, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, with that, we're going to wrap up this segment with Christopher Joe. And I'm just, pleased that he selected me to be part of his program to help him reach the folks that I know, every single one of you listeners, because he's bringing a different insight. And if you didn't get that from listening to the show, then you didn't listen to the show. That's for sure. But Christopher, thanks so much. And I really appreciate you spending the time with us today.
All right. Appreciate it. I thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Hey, folks, we got a new sponsor. It's called Buckwild Coffee. What's so special about Buckwild Coffee? Well, a gazillion people go to Starbucks every day and drink coffee. Well, why shouldn't Buckwild Coffee offer you light, medium, or dark roast with free shipping? All you have to do is go to whitetailrendezvous.com, go to shop, and order your coffee, and I'll ship it out for free. Hey, thanks so much for visiting Buckwild Coffee. The best brew in the West, the best brew around the campfire, the best brew in the hunting shack, the best brew anywhere. Buckwild Coffee. Get yours today.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.